Hello, happy life, happy day, happy journey. So glad to be here with you all. Super excited to be here today for our Walking the Path. My name is John Jacob Mubarak. I'm one of the directors here at Rythmia, and I am an Agape licensed spiritual practitioner as well. And I'm going to tell you, the topic today is, the answer is moo. Yes. So, hey, Tammy, what's up? So moo. The answer is moo. Moo. I came across this term in this wonderful book I've been reading, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, which is amazingly profound and deep. And I really love this term because it symbolizes, it is the third possibility to any answer. So in most of our logical assessment, it's either this or that, right? There's an old joke about this is an Aristotelian syllogism joke, probably the only one you'll ever hear. But it goes to the point that we have a this or that, if then this that is the mode of logic that we have built up, and it's based on our language, right? Because language, the only way we know what something is by what it's not, right? I don't know what black is if I don't know what it's not. I have to know what white is, I know what it's not. That's what metaphor is. Metaphor is comparing of two dissimilar things so that I can bring, I know one thing, I don't know another. I'm going to say this is like that so I can bring understanding to the one thing that I don't know. It's similar. For example, primitive man heard the thunder and called it Zeus. In other words, I heard the thunder. That sounds like an angry man. Well, it sounds like no man I've known before, so I'm going to call it Zeus, right? But it's there's something I don't know. I know what an angry man sounds like. I don't know what that sound is. This is like that. It sounds like this. That brings one unknown thing closer to me so that I have some level of understanding. So our whole system of language and logic is built on this or that. Computers, ones or zeros. It's either on or it's off, right? That's how it's black or white. And really, so here's an example of that through the Aristotelian syllogism joke. I'm going to say hi to everybody. Dorota, Roberta, Thomas, Jennifer, love you, Betty. Hi, everybody. And I know that there's more people that I can't see on here. Sometimes the feed is a little funny on this new feed. Anyway, so there's a rabbi and a Catholic priest. The rabbi is a brilliant logician with an L. In other words, he can logic his way out of any situation. And the priest is a little jealous of the rabbi. So he gets the rabbi drunk, shit-faced drunk. And the rabbi gets so drunk, he passes out. And so the priest drags the passed out rabbi's body to a cemetery, lays the rabbi out under a tombstone, and says, let's see how he figures his way out of this situation. So the priest goes and hides and waits for the rabbi to wake up. The rabbi wakes up. He looks around. And he goes, either I'm living or I'm dead. If I'm living, what am I doing here? And if I'm dead, why do I have to go to the bathroom? Okay, so there's our system of logic is built on if, then, this or that, one or the other. The Japanese concept of mu is no thing. Mu means nothing. And it is significant in terms of understanding when the answer is bigger than the question that's posed, or the answer is outside the parameters of the question, or the answer is outside of the options that are available right now. So the idea for this talk came around from chaos to order, right? We are in this moment now where it seems like things are loosening up. We're wanting to get through this. Everybody's getting a little stir crazy. And yet things are getting more intense. Like I was talking to a friend this morning, and she was saying it's almost like it's more intense now than it was before. And So out of this, we're still in this moment where things are uncertain, and the answers that we have are not appropriate. They don't fit the problem. The problem is bigger. The answer to the problem is bigger than the questions that we're posing. And so mu becomes that third possibility, that third state. And if you have any doubt about the existence of mu, think about a computer it's either black or white, ones or zeros. It's either current or no current. So where does everything go when the computer's off? It's in a state of mu. It's in this third state that's outside of the realm of yes or no, black or white, on or off. As a matter of fact, we have Western philosophy has an answer for this as well. Gorgias was a rhetorician. Socrates, Plato wrote a dialogue about Gorgias, and Gorgias got a bad rap by Plato and Socrates. They didn't like him very much. And Gorgias said something that pissed Plato off to no end. And he had this little syllogism of his own that proved mu. He says, nothing exists. If it existed, it would be incomprehensible. And if it were comprehensible, it would be incommunicable. So let's break that down. Nothing exists. He's saying two things at once there. Nothing exists. Everything in our existence doesn't exist. It's all a lie. It's all fake. It's all an illusion. But he's also saying this concept, nothingness exists. Nothingness exists. Nothingness then exists beyond the dualistic world. Nothingness exists outside of the manifest world of reality. So when we're looking to bring things out of chaos and into order, we must be willing to see the mu. We must be willing to move beyond our dualistic thinking. And we must be willing to be open to an idea that is beyond the level of the problem. Einstein said it too. You can't solve the problem at the level of the problem. The same mind that got you there isn't going to get you out of there. You've got to think outside the box, right? It's a phrase, it's a saying. Think outside the box. That's mu, baby. The answer is mu. Mu. So I'm cracking myself up over here. Hey, Elizabeth. Hey, Thomas. Hey, Robert. Oshun. Hello. The rabbi and the Catholic priest. I'm glad you liked that. Moritz, my brother, good to see you. Jose, beautiful, beautiful. I'm so glad you all are here. So back to this idea, from chaos to order. Syntropy is the movement from chaos to order. We are in a chaotic state right now, and order and balance and harmony are seeking to emerge. How do we anchor ourselves into this third possibility? It's not yes, it's not no, it's not what we currently know in our dualistic world. It is beyond that. This is what all the great philosophers refer to, especially Gorgias is referring to this field of nothingness, which the quantum physicist might call the field of all things possible. The quantum field, the unified field, the field of all things possible, the realm of infinite possibility that exists beyond our current understanding. Think about, we talked about in meditation the other day, about how the same mind that was in Neanderthal is in us. The Homo sapiens have not, Neanderthal was Homo sapiens, but our species, the mental capacity of our species has not evolved. The caveman, Homo sapien, could have invented the phone and the plane and lights and everything. The capacity was there, but the consciousness wasn't. But the possibility existed always. The possibility of airplanes and cell phones and cameras and digital community existed always. The infinite possibilities all exist at the same time. So this idea of mu, right? That there's a state of mu, a third state that we can access that is beyond our comprehension. And if we could comprehend it, we couldn't communicate it. It's impossible to talk about something infinite. It's impossible to talk about something outside of duality through the means of a dualistic form of communication like language. It's impossible to talk about the infinite in finite terms. We can't talk about infinite in finite terms. So, Mu is this concept of the third possibility that exists for order to emerge out of chaos. And this is where we're at right now. This is the movement of order, of chaos to order. And when the answer is bigger than the current problem, the current paradigm, we have to move beyond this current paradigm. And so, how does this apply now? Take all of this wonderful, cool information that we've gotten and apply it to how do we move to a state of Mu? The state of Mu is beyond circumstance. Circumstance is in our realm of duality. How do we move beyond circumstance? And my invitation to you is the same invitation that I'm giving myself. It is to ask the question, how am I being supported right now? Let me see the ways in which I am being supported. Let me take 1 minute and just write out all the ways I'm being supported. As we begin to understand how outside of our current problem or setting, I might be mad at somebody, I was mistreated by somebody, let's say, and I'm not feeling very supported by them. Instead of launching, walking over there or firing off an email or a text, what if I stopped for a moment and wrote down all the ways in which the universe or the presence or God or the earth or my family, and all the ways in which I'm being supported right now. Oh my goodness, my body's supporting me. My physical body is supporting me. I'm breathing. With effortless ease, in and out, the breath comes. There's enough air. If we all took a breath right now, we wouldn't take up all the air. And so, oh my God, I'm being supported just in my breath. My heart is beating. Look, think of all the autonomic systems that are happening, the automatic systems happening in my body. I just had lunch, and so my body is digesting. I'm assimilating nutrients. I'm eliminating things. My kidneys are functioning, my pancreas, just my body temple. Look at all the ways that I'm being supported. What about that food that I just ate? All the synchronicities and serendipities that had to occur for me to just get food. Just get food, get clean water. That somebody had to purchase that food. Before somebody purchased it, it had to be transported. Before somebody could transport it, there had to be a road built, a car had to be invented, a truck had to be built. Somebody had to hire somebody and get a job and get this position all set. Before that all happened, before the transportation happened, somebody had to harvest it. Before it was harvested, it had to be nurtured and taken care of. Before it was nurtured and taken care of, it had to be planted. Before it was planted, it had to be purchased as a seed, and all the fertilizer and the sun and the rain and the water. Think of all the things that had to occur just to get you or me and me lunch. Just that. Wow. All the ways in which I'm being supported. What about, there's so many ways we can think of, I'm being supported by this chair right now. I'm being supported by being in a place, we have a place to lay our heads. We have hot and cold water. Most of us, if you're watching something on the internet, probably you have hot and cold running water. You have a place to lay your head. You have clothes. I mean, it doesn't have to be the biggest room. It doesn't have to be the softest bed. They don't have to be the nicest clothes. But right now, all my needs are met. Right now, I have everything I need. How many ways am I being supported? This question, how am I being supported? Let me count the ways. Moves us out of already, could you feel the energetic shift? From that person is saying something to me that pisses me off, or I feel like I'm being attacked, and my reaction would be to attack back. If I took a moment and counted the ways in which I'm being supported, it would move me into a state of gratitude immediately and shift my focus off this or that. He said this, I'm going to do that. The reaction, action, reaction, cause and effect, duality world, and move me into a mu state beyond, that's outside of the current issue, the current problem. And then from that level, I can see the issue from a different perspective. And the answer emerges with much more clarity, ease, and grace. It emerges with ease and grace because I am out of this constricted field of limited thinking, of putting blinders on. How often do I feel it so often, you guys, this feeling of, I feel like it's so clear that the way I'm seeing it is right. This is it. There's no other way to see it. And yet I know in my heart there's another way. And probably tomorrow I'm not going to see it the same way. But at the moment, it's like, no, clearly that was wrong. What they said to me was wrong, right? All of a sudden I've got blinders on and all I see is this. Mu helps me to remove the blinders and to see a third possibility, asking the question, how am I being supported? Let me count the ways. How many ways am I being supported right now? I'm being supported online. Like there's people online that are supporting me. I'm going to look here. There are people that there are people that set this up: the camera, the lighting, the microphone, all the equipment that had to be purchased, all the ways in which I'm being supported. How grateful am I in the ways in which I'm being supported? So the answer is Mu, the third state. I'm going to read something to you about this from the book. This book is heavy. Let me tell you, it's heavy and it's thick. So he says, the truth trap of yes or no logic. Yes and no, this or that, 1 or 0. On the basis of this elementary two-term discrimination, all human knowledge is built up. The demonstration of this is the computer memory which stores all its knowledge in the form of binary information. It contains ones and zeros, that's all. Because we're unaccustomed to it, we don't usually see that there's a third possible logical term equal to yes and no, which is capable of expanding our understanding in an unrecognized direction. We don't even have a term for it, so I'll use the Japanese word mu. Mu means no thing. Like quality, it points outside the process of dualistic discrimination. Mu simply says no class, not 1, not 0, not yes, not no. It states that the answer of the question is such that a yes or no answer is in error and should not be given. Unask the question is what it says. Mu becomes appropriate when the context of the question becomes too small for the truth of the answer. Wow. When the context of the question becomes too small for the truth of the answer. When the Zen monk Yashu was asked whether a dog had a Buddha nature, he said, Mu. Meaning that if he answered either way, he was answering incorrectly. The Buddha nature cannot be captured by yes or no questions. That Mu exists in the natural world, investigated by science, is evident. It's just that, as usual, we're trained not to see it by our heritage. For example, it's stated over and over again that computer circuits exhibit only 2 states, a voltage for 1 and a voltage for 0. That's silly. Any computer electronics technician knows otherwise. Try to find a voltage representing 1 or 0 when the power is off. The circuits are in a Mu state. They aren't at 1, they aren't at 0, they're in an indeterminate state that has no meaning in terms of 1s or 0s. Readings of the voltmeter will show, in many cases, floating ground, characteristics in which the technician isn't reading characteristics of the computer circuits at all, but characteristics of what the voltmeter itself is. What happened is that the power off condition is part of a context larger than the context in which 1-0 states are considered universal. The question of 1 or 0 has been unasked, and there are plenty of other computer conditions besides power off condition in which mu answers are found because of large contexts that the 1-0 universality. Well, this is from the Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance, Robert Pirsig, right? Robert Pirsig. It's a great, I'm almost done. Only got that much left. It's going to be a big celebration when I finish this. But it's really this beautiful idea of a condition that's outside of the paradigm of the question. It's bigger than the paradigm of the question being asked. It's a nothing state, no thing. It's transcendent and immanent. It's part of the question, but transcends it. This is the nature of the divine. It is transcendent. It is bigger than all of the duality. The duality is contained within it. But it's also immanent. It's also transcendent or immanent in the thing itself, in the subject object, in the ones and zeros, right? It's part of it and it transcends it. That's the nature of the divine. We are a part of the divine and it's transcendent from us. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. This is Mu. So that is our talk today. The movement into Mu state can be achieved through the question, how am I being supported? How am I being supported? It moves us out of this state of yes or no, the myopic vision that we get, that blinders on vision that we get when we think we're right and somebody is wrong. When we begin to ask how we're being supported, it moves us into a harmonizing state that brings us to a position and feeling tone of gratitude and allows us to begin to glimpse the Mu beyond the limited scope of the questions that we're asking. That's it. I love you all. I'm so grateful for you. I wish you a beautiful, 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 beautiful day. That each moment of this day is filled with such joy, even if the appearances aren't so, but that there's a fundamental undergirding of joy that even though the circumstances don't appear this way, possibly, and maybe your circumstances are beautiful, which is my highest wish for you, but even if they aren't, that there's some rock bottom fundamental understanding that it's good, that good exists beyond the context of this dualistic paradigm. And so I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great day. Peace and blessings.